Fam, what is up? Welcome back. This episode is going to be all about committing to yourself. And I personally have been moving through a lot. These last couple of weeks have just been a whirlwind of magical energy. And I was feeling really, really down in the dumps last week. To my girly friends, I call it. I was being a sad sack of potatoes, is what I felt like. And I just had no gumption for life. I didn't feel inspired. I was like, what is going on? Like everything was crumbling, right? But it's always when everything is crumbling, everything is actually falling into place. And I always have to remind myself of that. As I was on the phone with one of my friends and just laying everything out. And then it dawned on me that the one thing that I have been avoiding is the one thing that I'm meant to be focusing on. And not that it's the one absolute thing I'm meant to focus on, but it's what I'm meant to pour my energy into right now. And it's the one thing that I toe dip into and then I pull back because I can feel the power. And I mean, honestly, guys, power is such a beautiful thing, but it's also such a wild thing when you can feel how much power you hold. It can be quite overwhelming and scary on such a different level. And I don't feel like that's talked about enough. I know I talked about it in one of my previous videos about my nomad journey. If you feel called to go check that out. But man, power is such an interesting thing. And I will admit, I have been overwhelmed by my own power. I, in fact, have been running from it for the past couple of years, and I have been running in circles to come back home to myself. And that dawned on me as I was verbally processing in my nomad journey video that I've just been running around in circles. And so last week when I was on the phone with my friend, and she has been someone who has supported me since I told her about my music, I said, you know, every single time I pour into that, there's absolute fucking magic that occurs. Absolute magic pours out for me. And I'm in awe every single time. And she said, Linz, what if you just pour into that for 90 days? What if you commit to that? What if you commit to yourself for 90 days? And start with the first 30. And then let it build. And know without expectation, you might not see anything in the first 30 days. Or you might. And I was like, you know what? Yeah. I'm going to commit to that. Whether it's writing a song, whether it's making a song, whether it's just uploading music, whether it's just I'm doing at least one thing a day for my music. And when I made that shift, it was like overnight, y'all. Like I cannot. It was like overnight. I woke up the next morning. I was motivated. I was excited to get out of bed again. I felt like, holy shit, something clicked. And I went to a coffee shop and I was joking around with my friend. And I said, you know, I'm going to go in and hopefully make a song. And within not even, I want to say 10 minutes, but really it was 5 minutes of me being in this coffee shop. I had pulled up some lyrics I had already written. And I put it all together. And I said, wow, I feel like I'm pulling things out of thin air. And for me personally right now and where I'm at in my journey and just the tools that I have, I've been using Suno. And that's been a whole adventure in and of itself because holy shit. And I know that this is just I want to say just the beginning, but really this is, you know, the second step of a 12-step process, if you will, because I've been writing lyrics and creating beats and all the things for several years now. And every single time I commit to it, absolute magic pours in so quickly, seemingly out of nowhere. And guys, The music is such a vibe. Oh my God. Like that song came out or came up on my laptop, and I was sitting in the coffee shop like just like blind reacting to these songs that just like literally feels like y'all have probably heard me say this, like I'm a bridge between here and up there, and the way in which things just fall in when I commit to it is just absolutely fucking wild. And I know that this is just the beginning, and I'm so excited if this is just the beginning, because man, it's about to get really good. But when I made that shift and I started committing to myself, magic started happening. Magic started pouring in other places outside of my music. That's wild. Because I was open and I was free and I wasn't blocking off what I came here to do anymore. In fact, I've known for a while that music is my thing, and it makes me emotional because it's something that I have been so connected to since I was a child. And I've pushed it away and pushed it away because there's so many reasons. Mostly because of the power. And it's so much easier and so much more comfortable to just stay where you're at. But guys, all it takes is a small shift. All it takes is you committing to yourself. That's all it takes. All it took was me saying, yes, I'm going to commit to this for 30 days. There was a few days where I was up at 10 o'clock at night writing because I hadn't gotten to it earlier in the day. And even then, there was so much magic that was pouring from me at 10 o'clock at night. But since I started that commitment, it wasn't about, yes, moving my body and eating right and doing the things to be that higher version of me. Yes, sure, absolutely, 100%. They're all important. But when you commit to yourself, guys, and I know this because I've been reminded of this so many times recently, where I was telling a friend yesterday that when I started my nomad journey, which I believe I put in my nomad journey video, which I uploaded recently, that whole journey started so many years ago. Like the actual seed of that journey started so many years ago. It started 2019 and probably far beyond before that. But in 2019, I've written a story of my life up to that point, what I wanted my life to be. And I did this during a nursing mentorship because I was a nurse at the time. I was working full time in the ER, and I thought something needs to change, and I don't know what it is, but it's probably my career. I knew I was meant for something more. And in that nursing mentorship, I had to audit my life. I had to audit what I was doing, what I was spending time on. And because I kept telling myself, I don't have time to go to the gym. I don't have time for this. I don't have time for that, right? When you sit and audit your life, fun fact, when you sit and audit your life and you look at, oh, I'm spending 2 hours a day scrolling on social media. Oh, I'm waking up and immediately getting on Instagram. No wonder I feel like shit in the morning. Oh, I'm actually not eating properly. Oh, I literally could have spent one of those hours going to the gym. It starts small. Because again, it's a nervous system recalibration, just like I talked about in one of my last videos. But when I started committing to myself every single day, even if it was for a half hour, I would sit in the morning, I would journal, I would move my body, even if it was for 15, 20 minutes. Something is better than nothing. And yes, you all have 15 to 20 minutes a day. I know that in every fiber of my soul, everyone has at least 10 to 20 minutes a day for themselves. You have to choose to make that. Just like I had to choose to make the time to wake up maybe a little bit earlier than I was used to, and wake up and not get on Instagram, wake up, journal, move my body. That was my commitment to self. When I started making that commitment to myself, everything started shifting. Everything. Work started to feel more like more aligned with how I felt at the time, right? Ultimately, I was needing to get out of nursing, but there was so many things looking back that had to shift, right? But it was that daily commitment of getting up and committing to myself before I went out and served the world for the day. That shift created ripples for the next 7 years of my life. And that routine has pretty much stayed that entire time. I have committed to a morning routine every single morning. I'm a slow morning girly. I typically don't people before like 9, 10 a.m. unless I really, 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 really have to and or like you. And that's my commitment to myself. And so last week when I made this commitment to, I'm going to work on something for my music every single day, I felt more inspired to write. I felt more inspired to create. I had something to pour energy into that was like, wow, this is really fucking magical. I can't wait to see where this goes. It gets me up out of bed in the morning because I'm excited to create. I'm excited to see what comes through for today. And some days I might make music, and some days I might write, and some days I might do something else. And that's okay. It's all moving the needle forward. But it starts with your commitment to self. Even if it's 5 minutes a day. My friend has been committing to her business, and a couple like weekends ago, she said, I just wanted to be on the couch watching a movie. She said, so I posted something on social media, and I shut everything off for the rest of the day, and I just chilled because I needed to shut my brain off from all the other things. And then she gained 1,000 followers in a week. Anything can happen when you commit to yourself. When you commit to showing up for yourself, when you commit to making time and space for yourself, anything can happen. And magic can absolutely pour in because you are in that vibration, in that state of giving and receiving. Because your heart is open and you're creating, you are also open to receiving. And I can't tell you the magical things that happened over the course of 5 days. And then I hit a wall. I mentioned this in my last video because this is important. You're going to commit to yourself and things might pop off and you might hit a wall. And it's important to not let that wall stand in your way, because I hit a wall a couple of days ago, and my friend made a good point, and I mentioned this in my last video too, that we're here, right? And then we have all this magic happen and we hit a peak and it's like, holy shit, this feels so fucking good. And then we kind of descend a little bit. We don't descend back to that original baseline. We're up a little bit higher because each time it's building blocks. You're recalibrating your nervous system. So it's important that when you hit that wall, that you don't let that wall stand in your way. You walk through it. Now, whether that's you need to rest, whether that's you need to take it easy, whether that's you need to do something different that day, whatever needs to happen. But it's important to not let that wall get in your way, because that wall really is just that downward slope. And it can feel like regression, and it can feel like, what the fuck, I'm going backwards. You're not. You're not going backwards. You're actually moving forwards. But it may not feel like that in the moment. But it's important to keep going. It's important to stay committed to yourself, even if it's one thing a day, even if it takes you 2 seconds, even if it takes you 12 hours, whatever it is. Listen to your body. Allow your nervous system to recalibrate. That is where the true alchemy happens. That is where the true transition and the transformation truly happen, is when you continue to move forward rather than being like, oh fuck, there's a wall, I gotta stay here until it moves. No, keep moving forward, because that just keeps propelling you. But it all starts with you. And it starts with making that daily commitment, no matter what it is, whether it's your fitness goals, whether it's your relationships, whether it's your business, whether it's your music, whether it's your art, whatever it is. And also leave room for play. I have been just immersed in playing with the music. And I noticed yesterday, I was like on a high, and then I hit a fucking wall, and I was like, ugh. And I could feel myself trying to push through that wall. creatively. And things weren't working the way that I wanted them to. And said, you know what? I made my song for today. And I think I'm just going to leave that here for now. And I'll come back to it when I'm recharged, when I'm refueled, when I have a hit of inspiration or whatever it is, right? It's also about creating space, guys. Creating space is huge. Not only for others, but for yourself. 5 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, 12 hours, whatever it is. Creating space and committing to yourself. Once you do that, come back and tell me how fast things change. Come back and tell me what happened to you. Those are my favorite stories to hear, is when people are having transformative moments in their lives and just hearing the magic that can happen. Because I know for me, magic is all around me every single day, but it's really, really cool to see the big shifts when I commit to myself, and seeing that big shift in energy and how much magic has poured through in all aspects of my life just from me committing to that one thing. And you deserve to commit to yourself before you commit to anybody else. That is literally the whole reason why we're here. I've literally been saying this whole last week. This whole journey has been between me and God. This has not been between me and my best friend. This has not been between me and my family or anyone else. It's literally been between me and God. And how fucking cool is that? So my challenge for you is to audit your life, see what fits that highest version of you and what might not fit anymore, and just allow it to leave. It's okay. Something better will come along, as it always does. But to commit to yourself, even if it's for 5 minutes a day. Because those are the building blocks, my friends. And you deserve to commit to yourself. You deserve to live the best life that you can. You deserve the life that you've always dreamed of. And it all starts with you. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so proud of you, and I'm so excited for your journey. As always, if you'd like support, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, share, follow me on social media, send me a message. I do offer one-on-one journeys as well. So if that speaks to you, feel free to reach out. And I hope you have a magical day whenever this finds you. I love y'all so much. I'll see you on the next one.